black hair and wearing like the typical like uniform you would wear at a dry cleaner, for example. And she welcomes you to the store and wishes know how she can help you today.
Yeah, so I say I have a 5 o'clock appointment.
And yeah, without saying anything, she puts a palm reader on the desk in front of you on the shop counter. And I think you've been here a couple of times already, so you know that this is nothing unusual. It's just to confirm.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, so you put your palm down, it scans it, and she nods and says, "The proprietor is waiting for you downstairs, and please follow me." And she leads you through the back, through the back area where they have all the supplies. Comes to a door between like the shelves, and the supply room has a very faint, very strong chemical smell and of various cleaning supplies and of dry leather as well. As you see, some of the shelves have like leather, black and brown leather rolls mixed in with the chemicals, chemical bottles standing on the shelves. And yeah, she comes over to a door. It's a fairly sizable door. It's a reinforced steel door, and there's two people with assault rifles standing guard on each side. And yeah, there's another palm reader. She puts her hand out, scans it. The light flashes green. You hear the locks disengage, and one of the men with assault rifles open the door, and she leads you down into the basement. And I think in here the scent of chemicals are a lot more potent as you descend the stairs. And there's also it's also fairly cold, like surprisingly cold for a space station. And yeah, she gestures as she stands on the floor. She gestures just through there. He's waiting for you, and she gestures towards like a corner office that you can see down the hallway. And then yeah, the hallway is lined with large windows and two doors. One where the stairs start, or where you're standing right now, by the end of the stairs, and one where to the side of the corner office. And then between there, from where you are to the corner office, there's just lines, rows and rows of windows on the wall, and you see down as you're walking down the hallway. You look down, and there is a lot of tables lining the floor, the shop floor, and they all have a whole bunch of equipment and glass, some crazy glassware collection going. And there's a lot of people. There's probably like a good 20 or so people standing in their underwear, men, women, and wearing rebreathers, and they seem to be working away on something.
All right. So yeah, I'll follow them as they lead me.
Yeah, you get to the office and you open a door. Like the door is slightly ajar, so you can just push it open and go in. And you see a man standing there with his hands clasped behind his back, staring, looking out through through one of the side windows from the office into the production floor down below. And he turns his head towards you as you enter. and he says, "Mr. Blackford, it's good that you're here. Please have a seat." And he goes, takes a seat himself behind the desk. This man, he's probably like 190, and he looks like, what would be the way to describe it? So he has like a tan skin, wearing a white lab coat, uh, barely any hair at all on his head, and what little there is just tufts of grayish hair just standing all over the place. Kind of like Albert Einstein hairstyle, late Albert Einstein hairstyle kind of thing.
Yeah.
He looks like unhealthily thin, like he hasn't eaten anything in probably 3 weeks or some such, and somehow still managed to be alive. Like extremely emaciated to the point where you could probably just snap him in half with a harsh glance. And I think, yeah, so we sit down, and I think, so I want to ask you, stepping out of the game real quick, because of your backstory, and we haven't discussed this, so I'm wanna, I will give you a chance. I want to hear your opinion, what you think about this, as I'm gonna suggest something to you. So, because you were part of a salvage crew, illegal salvage crew in the past, I think it would make sense that this person would be someone you know, either personally or by reputation, because he would have used your services in the past to get pieces of salvage from derelict ships for his operation.
Yeah, I can go with that. I can know of him. I can say that I've never met him in person, but I know of him by reputation.
Yeah, so I think maybe it was someone else in your crew that handled the introductions or handled the personal interactions, but you know him to be one of the most foremost chemists in the sector. Like we're talking Heisenberg level chemistry stuff here that he's known for in certain circles.
Yeah.
Which Heisenberg?
The good one, obviously.
Not the really
It's-
dumb one that invented nuclear fission.
yeah, right? I mean, technically, he wasn't a chemist, so I guess you're right.
But yeah, so what I'm suggesting is that you know him through his work because you have that kind of sweet tooth for the chemical substances, and you have worked with him in the past through a mediary when he has contacted your or contracted your crew to pick up a late delivery from derelict ships that he needs for his products. So if you're okay with that, I think that's the connection.
Yeah, that sounds completely fine to me.
All right. And yeah, he has always been referred to as the professor. I'm not sure you know his real name or if it even matters at that point, or for that matter. But yeah, I think it might have been Rachel who has been the go-between, like because she knows you and your crew, and she might also be connected, like have other connections that so she, so she might be the one that put the two of you together now.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll introduce myself to him. Uh, unless there's something else you want to go over.
No, no,
Okay.
no. Shake hands and introduce yourself and sit down. And he says, I'm familiar with you. Miss Rachel were kind enough to forward me your contact info. Um, the service you provided for me in the past are required once again. Um, I have lost a shipment of key components for some of the things that I'm working towards right now, and I would very much like you to get them for me. The faster, the better.
Oh, sorry, I cut out for me. What was it that he wanted me to get?
He, what he said was he wants you and your crew to go get some supplies that are gone missing for him because those are a key component in his current project.
Okay, yeah. So I'll tell him. Yeah, I think we can manage that. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I've been hearing about, hear all these tales of very strange plants. Some of them, seem almost unbelievable. If I do this job for you, do you think you might be able to help me locate something like that?
As you mentioned that, he opens a drawer, leans back in the chair, opens a drawer, picks out a smaller drawer, puts it on the desk, and it kind of looks like the kind of a drawer with separated compartments and a glass lid above it, where you would keep different samples.
All right.
And he says, "Are you by any chance referring to any of these, or is there any other thing that I have missed so far in my research?" And yeah, you look down into the sealed tray, and you see there is a bunch of it's a mix of seeds, plant, material, flowers, both fresh and like pressed flowers. There's a whole heap of things. There is a glass vials of sap, for example. There's a bunch of some resin stuff. There is a whole collection of what is possibly like some very exotic stuff and most definitely illegal.
All right. Yeah. So I tell him. All right, and so that seems pretty interesting. What are you willing to pay as far as credits for this supply run?
I'm willing to pay you and your crew the standard 50,000 plus expenses, and of course you will get the privilege of trying the new formula once it's done if you stayed on the station long enough. But of course I understand that you need credits to live, and not everyone can live in such a luxurious abode as I. So I'm willing to negotiate the price if it seems a bit too low, within reason, of course.
Yeah, that sounds great for me. Can I go ahead and roll a trade or something like that?
Yeah, sure. Trade with charisma if you want to haggle the price of it.
Let me go ahead and use my reroll.
Target to beat is 10 or number to beat. Yeah,
Whew, not much luck today.
unfortunately not. But yeah, the price he asks for is, or the reward he asks for is 50k plus expenses, and I think the expenses, life support and fuel there and back might be like 10k. So in
Yeah.
effect, it would be like 60,000, 50 of which you can split among the crew.
Okay. So yeah, I'll tell
And
him.
he says, yeah, as you haggle the price a bit back and forth, and he says, I'm willing to throw in another 50,000 uh, if you manage to if you go to Meridian and pick up the next shipment as well, because that will ensure that I don't have to deal with incompetent fools who do my business for me.
All right, and go to where was that last place you mentioned?
So he said Viridian for the extra pickup, for the extra supply run, but he hasn't told you where the first one is. Where you going?
Yeah, I'm just writing all of it down. I say, yeah, I can manage that. And where did the first bit of supplies? Where do those need picked up at?
So he pulls out a cargo manifest, and there's at the bottom of it there's a tracker, uh, basically a ship tracker, transport tracker, and it says the ship was last seen in hex 202 on the map, and he puts down the tablet so you can see the galactic map. After that, the ship lost contact, so I have no idea what happened. Pirates, or maybe the pilot just got drunk and crashed into a sun. I don't really care. I want my parts. I want my biological components so I can finish my work. And I think you are the person to get it for me, Mr. Blackford.
Yep.
And if you happen to come across the pilot, be so kind and shoot him in the head for me so I don't have to deal with this bullshit again.
Yep. I think we can manage that much.
Good. So, like I said, 50,000 plus expenses there and back to 202. And if you pay another 50,000 on top of that, if you go to 201 and pick up the supplies, they should already be stored at Starport, waiting for transport. I'll give you all the credentials you need to pick it up on my behalf.
All right. Yeah. So I will. At that point, I'll stand up and say, "Well, it was a pleasure doing business with you, and I hope that this relationship can go someplace productive in the future."
I hope so too. I have heard good things about you, and I don't tend to distrust the word of our acquaintance. She has a good head on her shoulder. So, am I to understand you taking this contract for me?
I believe so. I will still have to run it by my team, but we've been looking for some money like this recently, so I think they'll be okay with this.
Excellent. Confer with your team, and when you know for sure, you just call the number you did first time around, and my assistants will forward you the details you accept.
All right, I'll be in touch, and I'll take my
And
leave.
as you say that, he pulls out one other thing. He opens a drawer and he says, "Before you go, as a parting gift from me to you, just because you were kind enough to accept this offer, and because I trust our mutual friend." And yeah, he pulls out a an inhaler and puts it on the table and slides it to the opposite side where you were sitting.
All right, yeah, I'll take the inhaler, and say, "Yeah, I appreciate it," and I'll stow it in my bag.
It's a little something I've been working on. I think you'll like it. I hear you have a taste for the finer things.
And yep, that I do.
Excellent. I look forward to working with you in the future. But please, hurry and get my stuff. The faster I have it, the faster I can create this new wonderful thing I'm working on.
Yep. So I make my way out and then message to everyone. Job going to 202, 201, 50,000 to 100,000 plus expenses, and message that info to everyone.
All right. The rest of you get some message saying that there is potential money to be had. All right. So I think we quickly smash cut So, Tarn, you were buying cybernetics. What was the other thing you wanted? Oh yeah, scrap parts. So after you buy the scrap parts, spare parts, whatever it was, you buy it. What's the plan now?
You said the team had a storage facility here.
Yeah, on the planet itself.
I figure that would probably be as good a place as any to store my flag.
All right. Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult. Unless they, even if they try to stonewall you, you can just, quickly and quietly have a look through the ship log, and yeah, you can see all the important details and figure things out on your own. So there's literally no security that can stop you here, even if the other characters may stonewall you.
Would we ever?
I don't think so, no. But yeah, if you want, you can either take a shuttle for a couple of credits, head down to the surface real quick and rent a cab, some such, and get to the facility.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, so it'll be a couple of hours to do that. And yeah, I think mid-flight, as you're going through orbit, you get a text message, a group call or group message from Ben saying, I have a lead on a job, potential 50 to 100,000 plus expenses.
Arnold will reply back that he's all for it.
All right. Well, you said you were doing some freaky shit with nanites.
Yes. I put nanites on what's her face to track her
All right.
after I leave
Well,
her.
All right. But that's only to track her, not to
Yes.
do anything other.
For now, no, just to track her.
All right. Excellent.
And, do you want me to tell you what I want to do, or
I mean, I would prefer to know what you were thinking of doing, because then I can write it down and
yeah?
prep something for.
I was thinking
later.
maybe follow her to where she lives, or somewhere where she lives. That's why I asked, do I go to her where she lives? And you said no, so I had to improvise again. So yeah, I want to take her out to where she lives, or find where she lives, execute her, take some of her blood samples, maybe some hair, burn her body, and take over her identity as my second identity.
All right. So that is all well and good, but I think it comes up through drunken conversation that she's only just passing through here on the way back home to New Eden.
Okay, I'm gonna go freaking follow someone else. God damn it, Hellforge just ruining all my plans.
I mean, listen, if you had just said, I wanted to chat up someone who lives here, who's, a permanent resident here, that would have gone completely different than just the first
What would
person
have?
you talked
How
to.
would I know they're a permanent goddamn resident?
You gotta ask him.
I mean, you gotta ask.
You're like, hey,
All right, so I'm gonna go bar hopping for the next couple of nights and asking, talking to women, and if one of them mentions they're a permanent resident here, try and take her to her place.
Fair enough.
If that's okay with you.
See, it wasn't so hard now,
I
was it?
hate you so much.
I mean, you say that so often, the words have lost all meaning.
You know what?
Right.
Not to me. Not to me. The hatred is just growing.
Good. Then I'm doing something right. So roll me a connect with charisma, I think, and then you can find someone like that in
All
the
right.
shady bars. I'll be nice and say you need 6 or higher.
Oh
So you
God.
don't get slapped in the
Oh
face.
God. You just had to say something.
I mean, you said it first, so
Where's my skills?
connect with
Connect
charisma.
plus charisma.
You need a 6 or higher.
Oh, thank God.
All right, you find someone.
All right.
Describe this person that you find before you brutally murder her.
So
Burn her
I
body.
was mostly hitting up women that were about my height, my shape, but a distinctly different face, maybe different color eyes, especially in different color hair, and things like that. And I approached them. This woman, can't remember her name because I really didn't care. I was just looking for a mark. She looked very much like me in her physique. She was uh, the same height, um, shorter hair, uh, full black hair. Mine is more blondish. Her eyes are green, and her mouth is a little smaller, and nose is also a little smaller with the eyes. Yes, I'm gonna shut up.
I'm just saying, I got work in the morning, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. She looks similar to me, but when you look at her face, she can she's very much different.
All right.
So yeah, I talk to her at the bar, see how's everything, then take her out to her place. Once we get to her place, I sweet talk her, take out my dagger, and uh, I'll stab her in the back and twist it.
Excellent. So you brutally murder an innocent person. Good
Yes.
job.
And as I do that, I take out my bag that I was carrying, take out a few strips, take some blood samples, some hair samples, put them in a container in a bag. And I'm not sure if for with my metaform ability, I'm not sure if I have to always have the DNA of the person. If once I have it, I can turn into them.
I'd say it makes sense if it's something that you always have to keep on hand, because otherwise it's OP as fuck.
Yeah, and that's why I'm doing all this. Obviously, if that wasn't the case, I can just brush on someone's hair, right?
All right.
So this is just in case some of the DNA goes missing. I have extras. So yeah, I'm gonna go through her apartment, take all identification, learn as much about her as I can. Take her ID, take everything, passport, whatever I need, and basically she's gonna be my second identity. She's gonna be the person I use for anything I don't want myself connected with.
All right.
And
So
I
you have
will
escaped.
ask Brody or Tarn to make me a ring where I can keep a drop of blood or something where I can always, transform into her if I need to.
Yes, but that is several dozen hours later.
Yes, yes, obviously. I just didn't want to I didn't want to forget or something. So right now, this is in
All right.
general.
Yeah, so that happens later.
Yes.
Right, Brody, you have been window shopping or cyber shopping, I suppose, all evening or all day, I suppose, for new vehicles. Did you find anything you wanted?
As I was looking, I looked over and saw my heavy Sonic model and was reminded of my commitment.
All right.
That's
I,
Cymac.
I approve of your commitment to the cause, but really, you need some sort of vehicle at some point.
We can buy a ground car. I was thinking of just buying motorcycles for all of us. Go out in style. But I have a feeling one of us is going to crash it.
Probably you.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I'm worried about. Thank you. Like, hey, roll
right.
pilot.
So, my question out of character to all of you then. Now that the heat seems to be off for the moment and you have a new job lined up, how long are you going to bum around on this place before you set off into the distance again?
I'm down with leaving pretty much as soon as anyone else is ready.
I was going to do all of this what I just explained, and maybe hit up. Uh, we can't use internet while we're traveling, right?
Not in drill space, no.
Yeah, so I was gonna download a bunch of information and maybe ask Tarn to help me with researching some of the properties that are belong to Patreus. Especially if there's something, something going on with them, just online research. That's all for me. So maybe a day for everything.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
so maybe 2 days on station, unless Ton has something.
Tarn's pretty much ready to go once he gets back from stashing his flak.
Yeah, what's the date right now?
That is an excellent question. Let me have a look. So you arrived on the 12th, so it would be the 14th.
Maybe the 14th? All right, so it's only been half a month. All right, great. I wasn't sure if all the payment things had to be done. Do we want? I was gonna say, do we want to upgrade our drill drive? It's either 100K or 200K, I believe, depending on which level we want. But it would make traveling faster. But that's I don't know. I don't know if you guys want to do that because it's a little expensive right now.
Maybe wait till after we get paid.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, so let's say, for the sake of it, so you have, let's say, 2 days on the station to do whatever you want, and then set off on the 16th.
Sounds good. Resupply all the things on our ship.
I mean, it happens the moment you dock anyway. So,
Yeah.
like, unless you decline service, they do it automatically.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So I think if nothing else, we can call it here. I know it's been a bit of a longer session, but I also fucking forgot the time and didn't realize
All
daylight
good.
savings. So.
Oh yeah, it's already 12 o'clock. Oh shit. I had so many plans, Hellforge. So many plans.
I mean, you say that.
I'm off to bed.
Have a good night.
All right, I'm out as well, guys. Thanks for the game.